Hello and welcome back to Money is Blind podcast. I'm your host. My name is Prasoon, and this is the show where you will learn how to become an entrepreneur even if you are visually impaired, just like me. So, as I record this podcast, I'm happy. Why? Because it's been 2 months since I started moneyisblind.com and we have published 36th episode today. Just 14 more episodes from 50, and we are on a good run. It was like a challenge for me to be consistent. To record this podcast requires immense commitment. So, how do I record a podcast? Just to make it clear for you guys, I'm going to tell you the steps involved in the production of a podcast. So if you are a legally blind person or a visually impaired person, just like me, and if you want to start a podcast, you will have to go through these steps in some way or the other. And I think these steps will be beneficial for you because it will help you to sort things out, to get the things done, to finally press on the publish button in your podcast hosting service provider. So, without any more delay, let's get started. Are you ready, guys? So, how do I record a podcast? So, my podcasting journey actually started last year in 2021 when I was watching some YouTube videos. I came across Pat Flynn's books, no, some of his videos, which led to me, which led me to his book. What was his book's name? I read that book, so I thought I should also do a podcast. I always wanted to be a host, so I was already running this YouTube channel and I knew I could do it. I really hope the person who is in that ambulance gets well soon. Keeping that aside, we were talking about Pat Flynn's book, and that was when I bought this microphone. So I wanted a microphone, right? In order to record this podcast, I had a lavalier microscope, the one that you clip onto your shirt before you press the record button in your camera. So I thought I would do it. I would use it to start a podcast, but no. Then I thought I need a much more bassier or much more clear, crisp audio voice for my audience, and so I went on the search for a good microphone and I found this microphone. Its name is Samson, and I realized that it was not Samsung but instead Samson, Samson, and the full name of the microphone is Samson Q2U microphone. It is a USB microphone. It is a condenser type microphone and it plugs right into your laptop. So I don't have any other audio recording device like a Zoom, or I don't use my smartphone. I just plug this USB microphone directly into my laptop. That's either the MacBook or the Windows laptop. So last year I bought this microphone and I was running this show which is called Malayalam Health Show. It was supposed to be a podcast and it was mainly to promote doctors and health education topics. So we used to conduct talk shows on Clubhouse, inviting other doctors who consult online on Dofuri to talk on various healthcare subjects. We used to advertise and bring in some audience for that show, and they were allowed to ask questions during the show. And we ran that show completely in Clubhouse, and we recorded it completely. So after recording it, me and my personal assistant would edit it, and after editing, we used to publish it. It went like that for 9 episodes, after which the length of those individual each of those voice clips became larger and larger, and I found that it was taking too much of my regular time to go through those voice clips to edit it and to publish it. So I stopped it. And the audience turnover was also getting, was not improving as expected. And that's another reason why I had to shut the curtains on that show. But I am planning to restart it. Yeah, I'm motivated. I have a calendar, but I do have to find out a time slot to start it again. And then I had recorded this trailer episode. The show was mainly in Malayalam, my native language, and one of the episodes has received more than 150 plays, I think. But it was also hosted on Anchor, the podcast hosting service provider that I use now to host moneyisblind.com. So that's the start. That's how I stepped into the podcasting world. Now let's fast forward another year. 12 months later, in November, I was listening to another audiobook, and this one was by Russell Brunson. I don't remember which book, but uh, in his words, podcasting is the next big thing, and so I thought I should start it. I was always waiting for the right moment to start podcasting my podcast, but I was pushing the date over and over again, and rescheduling it just to convince myself that I needed more time, that I had insufficient time to start another content creation business. But one day in November, I think it was 28th, it was a Saturday evening, and I just decided to take out the microphone, which was lying idle in my wardrobe. I just pulled it off, dusted it, plugged it in, and started recording. It sounded nice, so again tested it with my Windows laptop, and I thought it was a bit difficult. In both Windows and MacBook, I use the voice memos, the inbuilt voice recording app. Then, after testing both these laptops, I had to figure out a way in order to publish these episodes. So, before figuring that out, I just made it a habit to press on the record button every night before I go to sleep. That's exactly what I'm doing right now. I came back from my cousin's place just now, 30 minutes ago, and here I am sitting in my study room with my MacBook turned on. It was shut down because of the battery problem. I had to plug it in, turn the charger on. I took the microphone out, the Samsung Q2U. I plugged it in. After turning on the MacBook, I just had to go to System Preferences to check whether the input device is the new Samsung microphone or my earphone, the Bode earphone that I'm using right now. So after making sure that it is the USB microphone, I had to increase its gain volume to 64%. I don't know why I use that number, but I think it's a good number, so I use it. There's no other specific reasons, okay? Then I launched this voice memos app. I press on the record button and test my voice for 3 or 4 seconds, announcing the date, sometimes saying hello, testing. And today when I tested, I added that it is my brother's birthday. I wished him today evening for his birthday. So after doing that, I stop the recording. I go back to the voice memo libraries, listen back, play back the recording, and make sure that everything is working. And then that's when I press the record button one more time, and this time my energy level goes up. I increase my volume, my but still I don't use any script, so that's why you can listen to these big gaps in between the words that I say. All right, so I am saying everything live as and when it comes into my brain, into my mind. So I think more than 5 or 6 episodes I did with a script. So what do I mean by a script? I write down bullet points or lines or any phrases that I don't want myself to forget. I put it down in a note file or a Word file. I use Apple Notes in my MacBook to write it down. And once everything is ready, I just go through the script and I then elaborate on each of those lines when I'm recording the podcast. So that's how a script works. But right now, I'm not using any script. I am delivering my speech, my valuable content for you guys as and when it comes into my mind. It is live. So after recording the podcast, what do I do? I just turn the microphone off. I press on the done button in the voice memos. That's when the recording stops. I listen back. I play back the recording one more time for 5 or 6 seconds. I go through the clip. I have a quick look at its duration, and then I leave it there because I know it will automatically get uploaded. I know that it will be automatically uploading to my iCloud server because I have an iCloud Plus plan. So whenever I want this voice clip that I'm recording right now, it will be in my iPhone, ready to be used, to be shared. So I can share it from my MacBook as well, but I use Google Drive to store these files, the raw files. So it's easier to be done in my iPhone. So that's why I use the voice memos app in my iPhone. I open it, I press on the more options button, share it directly into my Google Drive. There is a folder dedicated to Money's Blind podcast, and I upload all the raw files there. So usually each recording takes about 25 to 30 minutes. I think the lengthiest one that I have done is 36 minutes. And that one was with a script. So that's the usual length of a raw recording. So after I record it, it stays in the drive, usually in my Google Drive, ready to be edited. The next day, usually right now I'm editing last week's voice recordings. So I still have a buffer of episodes ready to be edited. So I'm not planning content well in advance as I do with my YouTube channel. But whenever new ideas keeps coming into my mind, I just write it down so that I don't forget it. So that whenever I'm ready to speak on that subject, I can just go to my Notes app and elaborate on it. So it is the Notes app. There are many apps, but I use the Apple Notes app as my second brain. And I talked about this topic in another episode. If you missed it, I'll leave a link to that episode in this episode's show note as well for you guys to find out that episode easily and so that you can listen to it. But of course, after listening to this episode, all right? Don't go anywhere. I have some more good stuff coming up for you. So after recording it, then it is my personal assistant's job to record it. And when he goes through the clip, trimming the gaps and the coughs and sneezes and everything, I will see. I just made an sound. I usually listen. I'll be there when he trims the clip, and we use the shortcut app. So it takes another 30 minutes, and usually a 30-minute raw file becomes 26 minutes. We will be able to trim at least 4 minutes of the raw file, the silence part, the ums and the mistakes that I make when I record the podcast. We edit it out, we trim it, we delete it. And then initially I used to add some music, but now I'm not using it. If you want to listen to one of my unedited episode, I think it is 25th or 26th episode. You can find it. I have put the keyword unedited in the title and a smiley as well. So just search unedited in moneyisblind.com and you will find that clip. You can listen to it. I have not edited it because that day I forgot to schedule the podcast. So usually we schedule 5 podcasts every week. That's on every weekday. And that's how we do the podcast right now. And I'm planning to do it continuously for one complete year. That's the challenge. So that's almost 260 episodes. By that time, I know that I will have made some new friends among you guys. So I already mailed Sam from theblindlife.net. He is a popular guy on YouTube. He speaks on assistive technology, and we have an interview scheduled with him coming up in March. Surprise, surprise, I just leaked it. I don't know how to keep secrets. Maybe I should learn. Alright, I have some other big surprises for you, but that I will share with you in another episode, in another topic. So I hope you are gaining some kind of value from these episodes from my podcast. If your answer is yes, if you are nodding your head up and down, just click on the follow button or the subscribe button in the podcast listening app that you're using right now. You can also listen to all the episodes by visiting moneyisblind.com. That is www.moneyisblind.com. And when you visit that site, give me your email address. I will keep sending you beautiful stories and emails and some secrets that I use to build multiple online businesses. How I changed my mindset from becoming a paid employee to an employer, an entrepreneur, a businessman. So that's it. I will talk to you guys in another episode. You guys take care. Bye bye.